Okay, in this quick review in lesson 21, they're going to go from a fraction to a decimal to a percent. Okay, so looking at 20E number 12, we already did a quick review in lesson 20 of going from a fraction to a decimal. So you can do long division. This literally means 2 divided by 5. You can go through and do 2 divided by 5. The numerator goes under the house, denominator out here, add a decimal, and you go through that. Okay? I also said you can use your calculator to do 2 divided by 5. And when you do 2 divided by 5 in your calculator, you get 0.4, and I'm just going to add a 0 on there because now we're going to turn it into a percent. Okay, that's decimal. That's one of your answers. Now we want to turn it into a percent. Anytime you go from a decimal to a percent, you multiply by 100. Why? Because any percent is always out of 100. The highest grade you can have on a test is 100%, plus if you have extra credit. So when you take 0.40 times 100, anytime you multiply by 100, it moves your decimal place 2 times. 2 zeros moves your decimal place 2 times to the right. So if you literally did 0.40 times 100 in your calculator, you end up getting 40, and then that now becomes a percent, 40%. Okay, so fraction to a decimal, multiply by 100 to get to a percent. Now, look at 20E number 14, 1/3. Okay, so if you do 1 divided by 3 in your calculator, you're going to get a repeating decimal, 0.3333, which is 0.3 with that bar over it, the repeating bar. Okay, the book is not going to put it in this format, so I'm just going to show you in long division. That would be 1 divided by 3. Add a decimal, add a 0, decimal comes up here. The most times 3 goes into 10, 3. 3 times 3, 9, subtract. Add a 0, add a 0. And if you read your instructions, the instructions say all decimals should be divided to the hundredths place value. Hundredths place value means second decimal place. Okay, you stop there. So here, we need to go one more time to the hundredths place value. Then you have a remainder. What happens to your remainder? It becomes your new numerator. So that's how the book is going to write it. The book is going to write it in decimal as 0.33 to the hundredths place value. Then your remainder is written as a fraction. So that's how they're going to write it in decimal. Then to change it to a percent, you still multiply by 100, and when you multiply by 100, it moves your decimal place 2 times to the right. If you don't believe me, you can do it in your calculator. So then that becomes 33 1/3%, which would be 0.3 or 33 in decimal would be 33.3%. But the book is going to put it this way. Okay, now looking at 21F, number 14, 1/100ths. Again, that means 1 divided by 100. You can do long division, or you can just put it in your calculator. 1 divided by 100 would be 0.01. Now to turn it into that's into decimal. Now to turn it into a percent, you multiply by 100, which moves your decimal place to the right 2 times. 2 zeros moves the decimal place 2 times. So then 0.01 times 100 would be 1%. That goes from fraction to decimal to percent.